Hey Matt, hey Barbara.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I unmuted. Can everybody hear me?
Yep,
I can't, I can't hear you though, Barb.
I can hear Barbara.
I can't hear Janice either.
I can hear you both.
Can you hear?
Can you guys say something so I can make sure I can hear you?
Testing
Hello,
one.
hello, hello, hello.
I can't hear.
I can hear Janice. But I can't hear. I can hear Barbara, but you can't hear me.
I can hear you both fine.
Okay.
But you can hear each other? Yikes.
Okay.
So I got no answer either way. I left her a voicemail as well, Chair, and asked if she did not get on the call to at least give you a call at her earliest convenience
Hmm.
for an update.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Okay, so I'd like to call to order the Detention Facilities Oversight Board meeting for April 27th, 2023. We'll start off with a roll call. If you weren't here for when Barbara Burkett said this before, please turn on your camera when you say that you're here. I, Janice Mensa, am here. Barbara Baker.
Here.
James Dom. Vice Chair Gray.
Present.
Tom Lawson.
Present.
Ornitha Lewis Walls is not here. Oh, yeah, Ornitha Lewis Walls is not here. Mike Milton.
Present.
Hillary Stuckey.
Here.
And Secretary Pam Walker is not here. So short agenda today. The agenda is as follows. Welcome and call to order, discussion of the public statement. And then we have the option of going into a closed meeting to discuss legal advice if we want, a return to open session, new business, and then adjournment. So are there any late additions to the agenda? Or anything that people are thinking of bringing up in new business? Okay, sounds good. So we'll move on to the public statement. As you all know, Mike drafted this. Is there anyone who hasn't had a chance to see the first draft or the final draft?
Chairman, may I ask, and this is just a point of order, is this a statement that involves confidential and privileged legal advice? Because if it is, then you would want to move that into the closed portion. I'm not answering that question, I'm posing it.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe it involves confidential or legal advice either.
Okay. Where was I? Yes. Oh, so Mike drafted this. I was asking if anyone hasn't had the chance to go over the draft or the final that Mike sent around like 4:30 today.
I haven't, but that's okay. You still can move forward.
Sure, we'll read it in here too. Maybe Mike, you could start us off with reading it. Are you on your laptop? Would you be able to share your screen?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on. And Barb, just so you know, it was just small edits from the first draft, but the content is the same.
Okay.
The only note I had, I'm not sure if you saw it, Mike, was that
It had her name.
Yeah.
Can y'all see it?
If you could make it fit to screen so it's zoomed in.
Sorry.
May I ask a question, Chair, on this? And maybe Matt or Barbara, because this is a public meeting, I think that those who are monitoring or participating public folk, that this is simply a draft right now. It is not an official document. It's a draft and does not become the official communication from the board until it is approved. Is that correct?
Yes.
And secondly, just for legal concerns,
Mhm.
Matt, you've indicated, is there anything in this document, because I'm sure you've reviewed it, is there anything in this document and or if it is approved, would it have any legal ramifications? And I ask that because if it's going to have legal ramifications, then it goes back to what Ms. Barbara initially said. Is this something that we need to clarify legal ramifications in closed session? If not, then I'm okay. But I just want to make sure that if we need to go in closed session to discuss this, that we have.
Chairman, if you would, and then Vice Chairman, if you would close the session, I can advise you about open and closed meetings and documents, and then you can, have more information. But I don't want to be in the position of drawing legal conclusions and working through a legal matter in an open forum.
I understand.
Sure.
Chair, based upon that, and always my concern is to protect the board and the integrity of the board. I would like to move that we go into closed session to discuss this document.
Would that be for the reason you're
Well,
of 610.0211 to discuss to have a confidential or privileged communication with an attorney?
Yes.
Okay, if that is, it needs to be in the motion. That's a point of clarification.
Okay, give me that number again.
610.021 subsection 1. That was the reason that was cited in the agenda that was posted.
Okay. Chair, with your permission, I'd like to move that we go into closed session based upon the ordinance number that has been articulated, 610.021 section.
One, that's the Missouri Sunshine Law. That's our state statute that we have to follow.
Section 1. That would be my motion, Chair.
Sure. No need for my permission, by the way. And then is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, Tom seconds. Are we ready to vote on it?
You need a roll call vote for that, Chairman.
Sure. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Let me pull up the list of names. Barbara Baker,
Aye.
James Dom.
Aye.
Vice Chair Gray,
Aye.
Tom Lawson,
Aye.
Juanita Lewis Walls is not here. Mike Milton,
No.
Hillary Stuckey,
Yes.
and Pam Walker is not here. We do have one no. The motion still passes. So we will go into closed session. For members of the public, we're going to go into a breakout room and then we will be back hopefully as soon as possible.
Very shortly, I hope.
Okay, yeah.
Chairman,
Sure.
Can I guess, I don't know if anything is up. I'm not really sure what the public is saying, but I would take any document and down. I don't know if they're
The
seeing it.
documents now.
Okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna hop out into a breakout room. For the public, we'll be back in like, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes. It's a guess. We'll see you soon. Okay, we are all back now. So we're revisiting the agenda item of the public statement. If we could, I think if we could read through it and then have a little discussion and move to a vote, that would be great. I just want to ask, since we only have 7 and we're going to need a quorum for this, does anyone have a hard stop? In terms of like, you have to leave at this exact time.
I'm looking at a hard out of like 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes? Okay.
And I have to leave it no later than 6.
Okay. Well, it's not going to be 6.
All right.
Not 6. Okay. So 5:40. We'll be out by then. Mike, could you bring it back up on the screen, please? Okay. From the top, please.
From the top, as in you want me to read it?
Yes, and could you just like at that part where it's the 100% zoom at the top, if you could put it to like 200?
Maybe 150, 125.
Okay.
Okay, Detention Facility Oversight Board by motion has approved the following statement regarding its progress towards its assigned mission since its swearing in on July 17, 2022, and pursuant to its obligation to provide notice that its work is being impeded under the ordinances described below. The Division of Corrections in the City Council's office have been thwarting the will of the people and is violating duly passed legislation. City of St. Louis Ordinance 71430 authorized the Detention Facility Oversight Board to receive and investigate complaints of alleged corrections misconduct and detention incidents, initiate investigations and make findings and recommendations based thereon. St. Louis City Ordinance 71467 authorized the Division of Civilian Oversight to serve as institutional home for the DFOB and state that the purpose of the Division of Civilian Oversight is in part to facilitate, promote, and encourage constant improvement in the operation and professionalism of the Division of Corrections, and as regards to detention facilities, to ensure such operations and conditions of confinement are safe, sanitary, and respectful detainees' rights. We accepted the mayor's and Board of Aldermen's nomination to serve on the Detention Facility Oversight Board, DFOB, because we understood the dire nature of detention facilities conditions and the impact that it has on the citizens of St. Louis held pre-trial. Yet we have not been able to fulfill our duties as public servants properly due to the consistent blocks from the Division of Corrections and barriers from the City Council's office. In January 2021, people detained in St. Louis City Justice Center notified the city of illegal and unsafe conditions at St. Louis City Justice Center, CJC, through civil protests. They reported being maced regularly, held in 24-hour lockdowns, inadequate medical treatment, and abuse and neglect by correctional officers, and many more experiences of violence and mistreatment. Our service on the board is an essential component to address the conditions of CJC. Since we first approached Commissioner Jennifer Abdul Clemens, and I'll make that correction, as part of our orientation process in August 2022, we have only been greeted by resistance and obstruction by the Commissioner. Denial of information violation, Section 5, Paragraph B. When she appeared before the DFOB in October of 2022, she refused to respond to requests unless they were submitted in writing. Pursuant to her demands, written questions were submitted on November 29, 2022. Notwithstanding the ordinance requirement that information be provided and that it be provided promptly, answers were not received until January 9, 2023. And then, even then, the answers were evasive and non-illuminating. The DFOB has sent several subsequent requests. Each time, Commissioner repeatedly refused to provide information in response to repeated requests from the board and civilian oversight. When written requests failed on 4/11, the DFOB requested that she come to our meeting and provide update on the current status of the conditions of the jail. She refused to come. To date, she's completely failed to provide necessary information as stated by the Mayor's Executive Order Number 1, dated April 26, 2021. Consistent with the above as reported by the Post-Dispatch, our request to review use of force reports was met with an effort by the Commission to circumvent the state's public records sunshine law and keep the documents secret from the DFOB and from the public. The ordinance mandates that DFOB shall be provided access to the city detention facilities at any time upon notice to the Commissioner and without conditions or requirement as to the timing or form of such notice. Notwithstanding the above, the Commissioner has repeatedly blocked DFOB members from assessing the jail facilities. At the outset, improperly blocked 2 members, Mike Milton and Barbara Baker, from entering the CJC because of their employment of helping people who are detained, and she has tried to remove them from the DFOB, notwithstanding the fact that they were duly nominated by the mayor and appointed pursuant to the legislation. To this day, they are not allowed to enter CJC as a part of their independent professional duties. In addition, the DLC commissioner and her staff have repeatedly denied entry to our board chair, Janice Mensa, to perform their duties pursuant to the DFOB. Mensa was denied entry on 4 separate occasions. On one occasion where Mensa was permitted entry, they were forcibly removed because they were speaking with a person detained in contravention to the ordinance. The DLC commissioner has failed to raise legitimate objections to the DFOB activities. It varies the DFOB not having rules and regulations, to the DLC commissioner not having been consulted on the DFOB rules and regulations, to the DFOB having not yet completed the orientation. The interchangeability of the objections and the DSO commission unwillingness to assist in correcting those objections suggest they're not real objections, but excuses to not cooperate with the DFOB's mission. The DLC commissioner has instead chosen resistance and obstruction at every turn, making it impossible for the DOV to perform its duty fully. As DFOB completes the orientation process over the next few months, we're seeking assurances from the mayor of St. Louis's administration that the city will cease impeding on our oversight function. As directed by Section 5, Paragraph E of the ordinance, we hereby provide notice that the DFOB is not being provided necessary information required access to the facilities, and that its work is being impeded on in the furtherance of its mission in carrying out its duties. Specifically, we're requesting that the mayor or the director of public safety provide requested information within a 10-day period. In addition, and then the following within the X months, we can decide, compel the DLC to gather and produce complete information and respond to the future requests within a 10-day time frame, ensure reliable and consistent DFOB access to speak privately with detainees regarding the conditions of their detention, receive cooperation from the DLC commissioner that is contemplated by the ordinance, which include allowing board members Mike Milton and Barbara Baker continue access into the facility. As the Detention Facility Oversight Board, we take seriously our duty to serve our city. We're committed to the rights and well-being of those held in St. Louis City Justice Center. It is our duty to hold the city accountable until the conditions of the jail are humane.
Thanks, Mike. Sorry, could you pull it back up? I just want us to make those few corrections, and then if you could make the corrections to her name. There's 2 mentions of her name. So it's Clemens with 1 M. And then, yep, dash Abdullah with 2 L's. AH.
AH.
Abdullah, very last letter is H.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then there's another mention below. In that paragraph, a little up, sorry. The paragraph starting when she appeared, yeah.
Wait, where are you talking about?
Right, you've highlighted it. And then just at the end of that sentence, you're already in.
No, gotcha.
I think the board and civilian oversight is the board of civilian oversight, or what's that referring to? Okay. And then just the X, you could just put, I think, few months in the next few months.
I think it makes more sense it's from the board and civilian oversight because it's 2 entities.
Oh, the board and the division of civilian oversight?
Yeah.
Board and?
Yeah.
The division of civilian oversight. Yeah. Okay. I am going to respect James's hard stop. James, you're the 7th. We have a quorum with 6. So if you need to leave, you can.
Okay. I do have to go. As of right now, I am on the record saying I am in favor of this public statement, though.
Okay. Thanks, James.
Thanks you.
For coming. So I believe the next hard stop is 6. I hope we're for sure not going to go to 6, but we can open it up to discussion if there's any discussion. Otherwise, we can go ahead and take a vote
I only have one question, only
Sure.
because I don't have it. The time, Mike, what is the time frame that we're asking them to respond again per the communication?
Janice just decided within a few months, and then we said,
Sorry, Mike, I don't think I think the within a few months is as
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I said within a 10-day period.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. And who, yeah, okay, and then who are we asking? Are we asking the mayor directly to respond, or the mayor and or interim public safety director?
It says mayor or the director of public safety.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm clear.
any other comments or questions that are pertinent to discuss before the vote? Okay, then it looks like we're ready to vote. I'm going to take a roll call vote. Let's see, Mike Milton, I guess if you're in favor, say yes. If you're opposed, say no. Mike Milton.
Do we
I'm
have a
sorry.
motion?
I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot. Barbara Burkett, if you were speaking, you were on mute. Was it just the motion? Yeah, okay. If someone would like to bring forth a motion to approve the public release of this document.
I'll make a motion to approve the public release of this document.
I second the motion.
Thanks, Barbara. We're gonna move forward to a roll call vote. If you're in favor of this, say yes. If you're opposed, say no. Mike Milton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Reverend Gray,
Yes.
Tom Lawson,
Oh, wait. I wasn't on camera. I just want to be clear that it's official.
yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
yes.
Hillary Stuckey,
Yes.
Barbara Baker.
Yes.
I think that's it. So the motion passes. I'm sorry it's come to this, but I'm glad we all got on the same page, and we'll be trying to make some movement here so that we can fulfill our responsibilities. So Mike, how are we publishing this?
It's my, I mean, I don't know if I need to make a motion, but I think we should send out a press. We should send this out to the press.
Okay, that sounds good. I don't think we need a motion for that since our last motion was to publicly release it. And it's now a public document.
Just to be clear, Chair, then I agree with Mike. If it's going to be within a press release, and I guess my understanding is then that's going to come from you as the spokesperson of the entity, which means that if there are any questions regarding this, people will direct their questions to you. Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that.
Oh, you were asking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you were just saying that. Yeah, well, I guess my idea of this is that if anyone calls me to ask about this or something like that, I will just have them submit their questions to me in writing and I'll bring them to the board. I mean, if you guys would like me to do something differently, I can, but my preference is not to respond spontaneously or to respond just out of my own thoughts or ideas about what the board would respond or something like that. I don't think it has to wait until a public meeting or that we would vote on each thing, but that's my idea, if there's no objections to that.
I think that we probably would need some discretion with that because it might be something that you might need to answer before you get to all of us.
Agree.
Okay. Who said agreed? Sorry?
Reverend Gray.
Okay. I would be comfortable with speaking to the facts of things, the facts of my visit at the jail. This is just, I guess, my personality, but I will try to stray away from making accusatory or too passionate statements, I guess.
Okay,
You know, if a mistake is made, we'll obviously talk about it as a board, and I'm completely fine with saying that whatever I said didn't represent the board if that, you know, if it comes to that or something like that.
Yeah.
As for other board members, I think that other people will be reached out to. Specifically, I think probably Mike and Reverend Gray as well. Thoughts about spontaneous responses from other board members, because I don't think it's true that people will come to me specifically as spokesperson of the board.
Although I think in this particular case, Chairperson, if people are asking us about the statement, as you indicated, the statement speaks for itself.
Mhm,
If people are asking us about the unfortunate experience that you had
mhm.
within the CJC, only you can speak on that. None of us can speak on that. We all say it was egregious.
Okay.
It should have never happened. I think that we've said that as a board.
Mhm,
I just think in this particular case, and you're right,
mm,
if they called on myself or Michael, because we're pretty public,
mhm.
I would have no problem referring them to the statement itself. If you're going to ask me about the statement speaks for itself.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point. And yeah, I think that makes sense about me speaking to my own experience. But I also think that you can speak to your like reception of my sharing that experience. I think that's valuable as well.
With your permission, I think that's fine with me.
Yeah. I see Tom's hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw an opinion in. If anyone gets a phone call, because I don't know how public our phone numbers are. I know that Mike has his phone number with his association, but there's always that option of just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something right now. Can I have your name and number? Let me call you back when it's a better time to take your questions." So that way it prepares you and you're not blindsided, or you can mentally prepare for whatever might come across.
That's a
And
great point.
and
Yeah.
it's always a good thing to say. That's a really good question. Could you send that to me in writing? Just not, we want to validate their questions, but we want to make sure that we do the appropriate response.
I was smiling because I like that sounds like you've practiced this. Genuineness of that's a great question. Let me think on that one. And that does remind me, if you do refer people to me, that's completely fine. Please refer them to my email and not my phone.
Right.
Unless it's someone I already know for some reason. But I think we're probably good on this one. I will also let you all know that even though the chances of me getting a tour are pretty low, I did let the commissioner know that I would stop by to attempt a visit tomorrow, and I gave notice for the next Friday as well. When I was there last time, she said that she wasn't able to meet with me that day. I was asking for a meeting specifically unrelated to a tour, but that we should another time. So I've been asking her about what time would be good for her to meet. I think the chances are the same as me touring, but just wanted to let you know.
At what time tomorrow are you planning on being there?
I don't have too much of a plan, but if anyone would like to be there when I go, then I can make a plan. I just need some notice because it takes me about half an hour to get there.
I'd like to be there when you go, because that it's unfortunate that you did not have a witness the last time you went, somebody to document. And so with your permission, you can text me later on or send me an email. But if you're comfortable with it, I'd like to accompany you tomorrow.
Absolutely. And there were witnesses in terms of cameras. And if we could get that footage, that would be great.
Okay.
but I think we've covered it for this meeting. We all know our next meeting. I think it's May 15th. If I'm wrong on that, it's definitely in the email. It is
Yeah,
May
I
15th.
have May 15th. Yep,
Okay.
third one there.
And we've invited the mayor and the commissioner. Has anyone said yes yet or no?
The commissioner has said no. I've talked to the mayors and staff, but not made an official invitation to the mayor yet.
Okay. Are you planning on doing that?
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, cool. All right. Well,
Yeah,
if
I have one more question, if
Yeah.
I may. I know in the article that was published, a good friend of mine, somebody who I respect very highly, particularly in this work, indicated, was quoted in that, stating that all of the parties are trying to find a solution to that. I know that she is on this call and monitoring this call, Nicole Barton. I know Nicole's work. She is a person of integrity. I don't know if this would be the time or maybe the next meeting, but I would like to maybe recommend that we invite Nicole to a meeting, maybe even our next meeting, to share her role as the director of I guess it's the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, I hope I'm not saying that wrong. But Nicole has a history of working with criminal justice reform, and based upon that statement, I would like to know what that means, that all parties are working to come up to create or find a solution. And so I'd like to submit that, Chair, just as a matter of recommendation.
Yeah, I'm open to that. I think all we need to do is just make sure Nicole is available and
Her hand is up, So
yes, I was gonna say make sure she's
I'm gonna be quiet now, Chair. I'm gonna go back into my little quiet place again now.
okay. I was just gonna say make sure she's available and put it on the agenda, and that's all good. I know that we have 8 minutes until 6, which was Reverend Gray's hard stop, and also is twice as long as we thought this meeting might take. So I think we might want to postpone a discussion with Nicole into another meeting. But Nicole, if you want to say something quick, if possible, I think we're going to wrap up the meeting soon. So
Yes. Thank you, Reverend Gray. Thank you, Chair. Just one, I want to introduce myself. I know several people know me, but some people may not. So I am the Executive Director for the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council out of the Office of the Mayor. I will be at the next meeting on behalf of the Mayor's office as well. And there is a training coming up. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that staff, I think Commissioner, correct me if I'm wrong, you and all staff will be going to the 2-day training. Is it May 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th or something like that?
It's May 9th and 10th. It'll be myself and the 4 investigators on our staff. We'll be
Yeah,
attending that's like training offered by the Corrections Commissioner, and the idea is after that we'll discuss how to adapt that for orientation purposes for the board.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that we are working on that too. So, and I can speak more about that on the 15th as well.
I think it'd be fine as well if you had information you wanted to share with us. We could get that by email too, if it's like, since that's pretty far away. But thank you, Nicole. If someone would like to bring a motion to adjourn, that would be welcomed. Unless there's other things that people want to say without adjourning before we adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
Second.
Okay. We'll do a vote. No need for a roll call. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any opposed, say no. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Again, happy birthday, Barb.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday, Barb.
Thank
porch
you,
with-
everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Where's the party at?
Right.
Thank y'all.
No more